Okay, this is the one I call a Modified Benroy. You can see right here, you can stick my finger up, my finger's about 3 inches long, so it drops down about 4 inches here. Give a little bit of character instead of just a blah looking square front. And you can see here in the front, we got the insulation with the foil backing, and this wire is going to be for a light right here. Pretty much like the light on the side. So you can have a light on your tongue, on your trailer. This one, the AC is going to be in the front. This will be the first one I put the AC in the front. And you can see the roof with the wiring running down both sides. I always do the wiring 4 inches from the side, so you should know where it is at all times. If you ever decide to put a roof rack on here, you really should never penetrate the roof, but in case you want to, I suggest bolting your roof rack through the 3/4 inch siding. And you can see the square hole for the roof air vent. And you can see down the side, this is birch. He's actually going to paint this, but we still use birch because the birch plywood is less likely warp over that cheaper plywood. So on these lights, they have a deep cavity in the back, so you can leave enough wire hanging out here in case down the road you try to decide to change it, you cut the wire too short, and you have enough wire to put a new light on. So I always put them out here with the lights, porch lights with a switch on them on both sides. I suggest putting one on both sides. And then what I do is I have a switch panel right up there. They're always in a little bit different places, but that's where that one is. And it is, the power goes from the battery to that, and then that sends power to both porch lights. So you can leave the porch lights on and turn them on and off from the inside. And even though that light has a switch and it's on it, it is still run through a switch here. So if you're laying there, you can reach up and hit it off from there. It might be a little redundant, but that's what I do. And then you see the little shelves, and all the ones I build, I always like to build. There's my lenses. And be careful I don't drop any screws here. Oh, like that. I'll find it. I probably with that one. These just sitting there. Sometimes the wood will warp a little bit, but normally it stays there. And if you put something up here, it keeps it sitting. So that looks like it's not openable, and it's kind of difficult to open. Which I want. You can put a. Let's see. You could put a pistol in there. You'd have to take it out of the holster. See that Kydex holster? Just the holster just too much, but you can put your pistol in there, wallet, whatever. A little extra security, and you don't always want to. And you can reach it from when you're laying down. So we'll put that back up, and then we'll find these screws so don't kneel down on one, because I know it's going to be painful. And then on the inside, when you have cabinets, I think the cabinet doors that swing out like standard doors are not a good idea, because let's say for some reason it swings open in the middle of the night and you're not aware of it, and you sit up and then you get that corner of a door right in your chest. So that's ample storage space in there. And this one's a little bit different in that it has a larger, that big old neon light's not staying there, but he can put the owner of this one can elect to put lights up there. So it'll be indirect lighting, which is kind of cool. You can see it from here. And then most all of them get a fuse box. And I like these fuse boxes because, let's say a fuse goes out in the middle of the night, you should be able to see little tiny LED lights along here. If a fuse burns out, the light beside the fuse will come on, let you know that the fuse burned out, so you don't have to pull each one individually out. And then right here, let's see, I'm going to take these doors out. This is for, we don't run any hard wires for 110, just use the surge protectors. This is a hole through the galley to the other side. We'll just, when we get ready, we'll cut it, we'll slice that. And I made it so that if this piece ever wears out, all you have to do is just take out the 4 screws, put another piece of foam behind it, screw it back down, and slice it again. That keeps, you know, in case some bugs get in the galley, they're not, can't come in and keep your cold air out or hot air out, or your cold air in and hot air out, depending on what season it is. Okay, we'll walk down the sides here. The galley will be starting from here. This is only a 4-foot galley, which I don't suggest doing a bigger one. This way we can get one sheet of plywood, totally one piece on the galley. And then you can see how the doors fit. I have everything kind of moved away because I was putting a 2-part epoxy resin on here. And you see this little thing up here. Oh, there's another switch. And it's probably fine for some seasonings, but more likely, more than anything, it was built to put an LED light up in here to get that when you got the, let's say you got the, you know, the galley door open like this. Pretend that stick is the galley door. It'll give you that little soft glow, and of course, you know, salt and pepper. You could set your beverage in there because everything should be sealed. I don't think you could set a beverage in there. I don't think you set your. But anyway, it's just a space for more things, and this is going to be the wire to the light under the galley hatch, and then you can see how much space we have here. That's normally where I put the AC, which is a good spot. AC in the front is kind of it's a neat idea, but it has its pros and cons. You got to make sure you stay on top of that seal around the edges, and cover the AC when you're traveling. Otherwise, you know, the seal gives out and you're in a rainstorm, that sort of thing, and cover it up so it doesn't, the coils don't get dinged up. And then this right here is for a little pull-out stove. That's why it's shallow. And if you decide you want that, that's fine. And I could also make a drawer that would fit in here. So you could have a higher side drawer. You have the option of taking that out. I might make that anyway. Kind of like this. There we go. And oh, that epoxy is good stuff. Okay. I'm gonna have to knock this loose later, but the epoxy got in there and glued it. That slides back and forth, and put a little handle here so you can, you know, maybe just keep the silverware in there and take it over to the picnic table. And that epoxy got on some of the mechanisms, but that's okay. We got that. And then this right here gets a door, and this space right here gets a Yeti cooler. If you have a particular size cooler you want it to fit, I need to have that cooler here so I can put it in there and make sure that we still have, because we're only dealing with 8 feet of length here, so I'm going to have to make sure that we can get your Yeti cooler in there and still have 75 inches of length for a queen size mattress, because this 5x8 fits a queen size mattress. And then you can see right here where the through hole fittings go through. That's where I put the cable hatch. You saw, oh, here it is. Cable hatch goes here like that. I go ahead and seal these edges right here in case water gets past it, but it shouldn't. You know, unless it just shouldn't. It just shouldn't. All right, let's walk out here and look at the 5x8 that I made for somebody's smoking. And that guy. Okay, I painted this one black. And I rolled that on there with a cheap roller because I knew I was going to have to sand it again. And it has some fiber in the paint, which is not a big deal. And I like it to go with black and a little bit of chrome. And then I painted a roof vent black. And these are the hinges I order for the doors that I make. And just so that you know, when you're looking at this, going, oh, that's pretty. And yes, it is pretty. When you cut these doors out, they're liable to warp a little bit. So this one's, you can see it push. It's out a little bit here, but that's a trade-off for a larger door. And you can see where my jig got off right here, and I just filled it in with Bondo. And all the people that looked at it at the park this weekend didn't even notice that I had to point it out to them. Let's see it. And the glass is factory tinted. They charge a good amount for that too. I have on this one, let's see, I hope the battery's still up. Yeah, should be. Okay, you can see I can turn this off. I don't know if you can see both at the same time. You can turn that off from here, or I like the dimmer ones, and you can turn it dimmer. And then, let's see, you can see how that shines there. It shines there. When I did that, I thought, you know what, these things are clear in the back. Why don't I just cut a hole in this so I get a little bit of light up here? And again, with the little secret compartment, there's enough space in there to put a pistol, several pistols, wallets, keychains, anything you want to put in there. You can see I have a remote control, and I have some instructions for, there's for the papers for the trailer. And I have everything on light. On a switch. And you don't have to use this particular one. It's $25 for this one, whereas that one in there was $10. This one has a light that lets you know that it's on. So I have my Galley on a switch. I have the green. I have some lights under the camper, so when you're walking up to the camper, everything's LED. So when you're walking up to the camper, it has a nice glow, and from 30 feet away, you don't have to worry about tripping because you pretty much can see the ground. Okay, so this hasn't been vacuumed out or cleaned or anything. And the trip. My camera's fogging up. This AC, I still have to do some work. I need to put a shelf here to separate the cold air outlet from the cold air intake to make it more efficient. And you can see I did the sliding doors in here. I was able to get the matching knots, which is pretty cool. And then you got all this space. And you can put a beverage up here if you want. These are my window treatments. When those fall off and hit the ground, it does so much damage to them, so you might want to go with curtains. I like total blackout. As close to total blackout as I can get. Because sometimes we stay up all night long with the group around the campfire, and I want to sleep until at least 10. These are hand bent piece of 1/2-inch aluminum channel for a rain gutter. And you can see, even though that this door doesn't fit exactly perfect, it fits really good down here. And the other door's near perfect. As near perfect as you can get. I mean, if both doors were like this, I would be so excited. Let's go around back. You can see these lights, I don't like those, but the other ones have a bigger cavity in the back so you can hide more wire. This one, the cavity is so small you have to be super careful with how much extra wire you have. These are vents for the AC. And this one I have the Jeep tie downs on it. Oh, there we go. So if this fails, you're going to drive down the road dumping out your stuff. Oh, look, I left the LED lights on from when I was in the cabin a few minutes ago. But you can see the LEDs in there, which gives a really cool glow at night. This is the remote control for these LED strips, and it's supposed to do all kinds of stuff. But I think I have the receiver put in backwards, so I'm gonna take the receiver out and change it around and see what we can do. But that's pretty much how much galley space you have on this one. And then you can see under the bottom, the ones that come straight down like this, you can make the galley lid like this 5x8 modified Benroy in here. You have all that space for a cooler and whatnot. Versus on this one where you just have a ton more foot space. My wife kind of wanted this so she could keep her suitcase inside here at the foot of the bed. Let's turn all those lights off. If you'd elect to go with the wood-sided one like this, I'm going to tell you they are not perfect because there's factory blemishes on the wood, and I was going to fill in all those screw holes. I thought, you know, that will kind of go along with the look. I'm going to leave it like that. But let me show you the blemishes that come with it from the factory, and you can't do a whole lot about it. Like this line looks like a scratch or a pencil line. That's just from what they did. And plus where I screw those two sides together to make these edges perfect. And some of those guys that build on the internet, you can see it looks like it's cut out with a hatchet. It's a terrible job. Terrible, terrible job. Okay, here's another blemish right here where there was a warp in the wood. And I tried to sand it a little bit, and all I did was make it worse. I thought, well, let's just call that personality. Here's another scratch, another scratch, another scratch. This is where I had my AC pushed further inside. I was trying something different. I was experimenting on my camper. It didn't work out so well, so I had to scoot the AC from the inside to out back here. So I had to change my drain line. And there's your cable hatch. And that's just the end of a surge protector. So you can see how the drain is. I can't be without air conditioning. This is just a temporary stand for it. It doesn't have to be on a stand. Normally they just sit flat. But I thought on this one what I'd do is I'll build a stand. So I'm going to take it all apart and rebuild a new one of these. It looks a little bit more, looks a little nicer. And then that way I can have a drawer here. Pull out drawer for silverware. And slide in and out. And then, oh yeah, you will see staples. And they can be filled, but I normally don't fill them. I just tell people, hey, it's kind of the part of the personality. You can fill them with a wood filler, but the wood filler is never going to match. This is pine. This is at 2.7 millimeter. So you should be able to see right here how thin that millimeter is for lightweight. Actually, you probably have a ruler at home. You can see 2.7 millimeter. But this is a 2.7 millimeter right here with a layer of fiberglass cloth on it. And some fiberglass resin and 2 coats of paint, which I'll be sanding down and putting a 3rd coat of paint on it. On these homemade campers, or even the store-bought campers, you have to, I'd say probably once a year, replace the gaskets. Because just like this right here, had somebody come up and lean on it and, hey, how's it going, man? This is a cool camper. It's just kind of part of life. People touch things. Oh, now I don't do these. Oops. I don't do these locks on all of them. This is the first one I experimented on mine so I could learn how to do them. But they turned out nice and it's lockable. These locks lock well from the outside. Well, the inside, you need to put something else, some kind of a deadbolt or something, because there's no locking these from the inside. And plus, this metal is not the strongest ever. So I need to put something like a kayak handle here to pull the door shut. Because if you grab that and keep pulling the door shut with that, and slamming the door with that, eventually you're going to bend this. I have bent that and had to bend it back. But, you know, it's all part of the learning process. That's with homemade doors. Or, yeah. Shop-made doors, whatever, custom-made doors. You can see where I had the smiley face on there. The tape glue's still on it. And this is 5.80 wheels. It was white spoke. I painted them black to kind of go with the theme. And you can see the 45 caliber casing for valve stem caliber. But I'm sure this one weighs a lot less than 980 pounds because Dominic, like I said, Dominic weighed his, the big orange one. And his weighed 980 pounds. This is lacking, or not lacking, it just doesn't have the amount of cabinets as the other one, the bigger full 8-foot Benroy did. This is 8 foot from this edge to the back edge. You know, where it gets 6 feet is from right here to the bottom. You see how the curve comes down, you lose a foot there. Right here, you lose about a foot here. And plus, with this rounded front end like that, it hangs out over your tongue. So, it limits you on how large of a tongue box you can have. So, I will probably put this one up for sale, even though I love it. I want a bigger tongue box. I want a tongue box that you can, and that's a tongue box. I want a tongue box that you can put a bunch of stuff in it. A battery and wheel chocks and extension cords, cables. You can see my little battery down there. And the battery probably needs some charging. But that's it for now. Let's see if we can get up close up so you can see a little bit of that little bit of orange peel. That orange peel hides a lot of sand. I mean, even with, because black, if you made it super slick, you still see the bend of the wood, because the wood just not really meant to bend. But I have a pretty nice radius there. See, you get a little sun glare on it there. You can see where my wood seamed up. No, that's where my fiberglass seam is. But once I sand this again, it'll look pretty good. But this is about the standard finish right here on them. It depends on, you know, how much money you want to spend for a finish. And the more you spend on the finish, the more antsy you are about people touching it or getting dings or hailstorms or whatever. And these, even though this is a 2.7 millimeter, you can see right here how thick that 2.7 is. It should stand up to standard hailstorms, but if you ever knock a hole in it, just kind of sand off that area, lay on some little fiberglass cloth and put on some resin, and then sand it. And once you get it smooth, take your roller and just roll the paint over it a couple of times till you get it looking the way you want it to look. It's real easy to repair. Alright, I hope this video helps you. I hope I can compress this video enough to get it sent to you.